Let me ask you something. Do you ever feel like you're already behind in life? Like everyone around you is buying houses, getting married, starting businesses, and you're just here trying to figure out what to eat for dinner. You wake up, scroll through your phone, go to work, come home, and somehow the whole day just disappears. And then you see your friends posting big life updates, new promotions, engagement rings, dream vacations, and you think, what am I even doing with my life? Here's the truth that nobody wants to admit. The people you think have it all together, a lot of them are just as lost as you are. They're just better at hiding it behind filters and carefully curated social media posts. And in this video, I'm going to show you why your 20s feeling like a waste is actually the best thing that could happen to you. Because what looks like falling behind right now is actually you building something nobody can see yet. When I was 22, I thought my life was going absolutely nowhere. I had a degree I wasn't using, a job I didn't love, and friends who seemed to be miles ahead of me in every possible way. One night, I was scrolling through Instagram because that's what we do when we feel bad about ourselves, right? We make it worse. And I saw an old schoolmate post a picture of her new apartment in the city. Marble floors, a view of the skyline, fancy wine glasses on the counter, the whole "I've made it" package. And there I was, sitting in a rented room the size of a walk-in closet, eating instant noodles straight from the pot because I didn't want to do dishes. I remember thinking, what's wrong with me? Why am I so far behind? We graduated the same year. We had the same opportunities. What did she figure out that I didn't? I spent that whole night spiraling. I made a list of everything I should have accomplished by then. I calculated how much money I should be making. I even Googled, am I behind in life at 22? Yes, that's a real thing people search. And yes, I was one of them. But here's what I didn't realize in that moment. Those quiet, ordinary, sometimes painful years. The ones where nothing Instagram-worthy was happening. Those were the ones teaching me how to stand on my own feet. They were teaching me resilience, patience, and who I actually was when nobody was watching. If you're in your 20s right now, you've probably felt at least one of these, actually. Scratch that, you've probably felt all of these. Comparing your life to everyone else's highlight reel. You see the wins, but you don't see the student loans, the anxiety attacks, the family money that made it all possible, or the 10 failed attempts before the success. Feeling pressured to figure it all out before 30. Like there's some invisible deadline, where if you haven't made it by then, you've somehow failed at life. Spoiler alert, that deadline doesn't exist. Worrying that one wrong choice will ruin your entire future. That if you pick the wrong job, the wrong city, the wrong relationship, you'll be stuck in that decision forever. But life doesn't work like that. That weird loneliness where you're surrounded by people but still feel lost. You're at parties, you're texting friends, you're going to work events. But inside you're thinking, does anyone else feel like they're just pretending to have it together? And you know what's funny? Almost everyone in their 20s feels this way. But no one really says it out loud because we're all too busy trying to look like we know what we're doing. Here's the perspective that changed everything for me, and I hope it does the same for you. Your 20s are not the finish line. They are the training ground. Think of your life like building a house. In your 20s, you're not decorating the living room. You're not picking out curtains or hanging art on the walls. You're laying the foundation. You're digging in the dirt. You're pouring concrete. You're framing the structure. And foundations, they're messy. They don't look like much from the outside. If someone walks by your construction site, they're not going to be impressed. They can't see the beautiful house that's going to be built on top of it. But without that foundation, nothing else matters. You can have the prettiest furniture and the most expensive decorations, but if the foundation is weak, the whole thing crumbles. Psychologists actually have a name for this stage of life. They call it emerging adulthood, a period of exploration, trial and error, and self-discovery. It typically spans from your late teens to your late 20s, sometimes even into your early 30s. It's when you build the skills, resilience, and self-awareness you'll need for the rest of your life. It's when you figure out what kind of work actually fulfills you, what kind of relationships are healthy for you, what your values are, when you're not just copying your parents or your friends, how to handle failure, rejection, and disappointment, how to manage money, time, and your own mental health. These aren't things you learn in a classroom. You learn them by living, by trying, by failing, by getting back up. So instead of panicking about being behind, here's what I wish I had done earlier. 5 principles that completely change how you see your 20s. Number 1. Stop comparing timelines. One of the fastest ways to kill your motivation and your joy is to measure your life against someone else's highlight reel. You see someone your age buying their first car, getting engaged, or starting a business, and instantly you feel like you're failing. But here's the thing that took me way too long to understand. Life isn't a race. There's no universal stopwatch where everyone must cross the finish line by a certain age. Let me give you some perspective. Vera Wang didn't design her first dress until she was 40. Stan Lee created his first hit comic at 39. Samuel L. Jackson didn't get his first major role until he was 43. And Julia Child didn't even start cooking until she was nearly 40 years old. Some people marry at 22, others at 42, and some never marry at all and they're all happy. Some people find their dream job at 25, others at 55, and some people have 3 different dream jobs throughout their life. Your path is yours. You're on a completely different road, with different challenges, opportunities, and timing. You didn't start from the same place as that person on Instagram. You don't have the same resources, the same support system, the same advantages or disadvantages. The moment you stop measuring yourself by someone else's milestones, you'll have the freedom to actually enjoy your own journey. And that's when real progress happens, when you're not constantly looking sideways at everyone else. Number 2, invest in yourself, not just in things. When you're in your 20s, it's tempting to spend on instant gratification clothes, gadgets, nights out, the latest phone, that expensive brunch spot. And listen, there's nothing wrong with enjoying those things. Life isn't just about delayed gratification. But here's what no one tells you when you're young. The best investment you can make at this age isn't in stuff that loses value the moment you buy it. It's in skills, knowledge, and experiences that compound over time. Warren Buffett, one of the richest people in the world, said the best investment he ever made was in himself. Not in stocks, not in real estate, in himself. So what does this look like practically? Read books that stretch your thinking, not just self-help books or career books, but literature, philosophy, history, science. Books that challenge your assumptions and expand your worldview. Take online courses that improve your career opportunities. Whether it's coding, design, public speaking, financial literacy, or marketing. These skills pay dividends for decades. If possible, travel, but not just for Instagram photos. Travel to see how other people live, think, and solve problems. It destroys your assumptions and builds empathy in ways nothing else can. Learn practical skills: how to cook healthy meals, how to budget and invest, how to speak a new language, how to fix things, how to communicate clearly. Invest in your health. This is the foundation of everything else. A gym membership or healthy food might seem expensive now, but medical bills and lost opportunities later are far more expensive. The money and time you spend on yourself now pays you back for decades. That's compound interest for your life. Number 3, treat mistakes like experiments. Most people are so afraid of making mistakes in their 20s that they end up doing nothing at all. They stay in the safe job, the comfortable relationship, the familiar city, not because they love it, but because they're terrified of making the wrong choice. But here's the truth that set me free. Mistakes aren't the opposite of success. They're the path to it. Every wrong job teaches you what you actually value in work. Every failed relationship teaches you what you need in a partner and what red flags to watch for. Every embarrassing attempt at something new teaches you that you can survive embarrassment. They're all experiments. Each one gives you data. Data about what works, what doesn't, and who you really are underneath all the expectations. Thomas Edison famously said he didn't fail 10,000 times trying to invent the light bulb. He just found 10,000 ways that didn't work. That's the mindset shift. If you treat every mistake as a personal failure, you'll avoid risk and stay stuck. You'll be so afraid of looking stupid that you never try anything new. And in 10 years, you'll still be in the same place, wondering what if. But if you treat mistakes as experiments, you'll move forward faster than most people ever will. You'll have the courage to apply for that job you're not quite qualified for, to start that project even though you don't know how it'll turn out, to have that difficult conversation, to take that calculated risk. Your 20s are the cheapest time in your life to make mistakes. You probably don't have a mortgage, kids depending on you, or decades of career reputation to protect. The stakes are lower now than they'll ever be again. So experiment, try things, fail forward. Number 4, build relationships that matter. In your 20s, you meet a lot of people through work, school, social media, dating apps, random encounters. But here's what I learned the hard way. Not everyone is meant to stay in your life, and that's okay. There's a saying, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Whether that's exactly scientifically accurate or not, there's deep truth in it. The people around you shape your habits, your mindset, your possibilities. Pay attention to the people who genuinely support you, not just when you're winning, but when you're struggling. Challenge you to grow instead of keeping you comfortable and stagnant. Want the best for you, even if it means you outgrow them. Celebrate your wins without jealousy. Tell you the truth when you need to hear it. Those friendships and mentorships are like gold. They're rare and incredibly valuable. They can open doors you didn't even know existed. They can introduce you to opportunities, ideas, and perspectives that change your entire trajectory. I got my first real career opportunity because a friend from college vouched for me. I learned how to manage money because a mentor sat me down and explained things my parents never taught me. I developed confidence because certain friends believed in me before I believed in myself. On the flip side, don't be afraid to step away from toxic people, the ones who drain your energy, make you doubt yourself, or keep you small so they feel bigger. The ones who gossip constantly, discourage your dreams, or treat you like an option instead of a priority. This doesn't mean you have to dramatically cut people off. Sometimes relationships just naturally fade, and that's healthy. You can wish someone well from a distance. Who you surround yourself with will shape who you become, for better or worse. Choose wisely. Number 5, protect your mental and physical health. Your 20s can feel like a time when you can push your limits endlessly, all-nighters, endless hustle, running on coffee and ambition, sacrificing sleep for productivity, ignoring stress because you're young. There's this toxic narrative in hustle culture that says burnout is a badge of honor. That if you're not exhausted, you're not working hard enough. That self-care is for weak people. But the truth is, burnout in your 20s isn't a badge of honor. It's a warning sign that you're building something unsustainable. I learned this the hard way when I ended up in the emergency room at 26 with stress-induced chest pains. The doctor looked at me and said, "You're treating your body like it's invincible. It's not. Take care of your body now, and it will take care of you later." This means, get enough sleep, not 5 hours. Not, "I'll sleep when I'm dead." Actual, consistent, quality sleep. Your brain literally can't function properly without it. Move your body regularly. You don't have to become a gym rat, but find some form of movement you actually enjoy. Walk, dance, play sports, do yoga. Your body was designed to move. Eat food that actually fuels you. I'm not talking about restrictive diets. I'm talking about learning to cook real food instead of living on takeout and energy drinks. And just as important, maybe even more important, protect your mental health. Learn to say no without guilt. Take breaks when you need them, not just when you've completely collapsed. Talk to someone if you're struggling, whether that's a therapist, a friend, or a hotline. Set boundaries with work, with family, with friends. You don't owe everyone access to you 24/7. Develop healthy coping mechanisms for stress. Not alcohol, not doom scrolling, not shopping. Actual healthy tools like journaling, meditation, creative hobbies, spending time in nature. Because here's the bottom line. Success means nothing if you're too exhausted, too anxious, or too broken to enjoy it. What's the point of achieving your goals if you've destroyed your health getting there? Here's the thing that I want you to really understand. Your 20s aren't just a chapter in your life. They are the foundation, the blueprint, the messy, beautiful, frustrating trial run before things start locking into place. The mistakes you make now, they're cheaper than they'll ever be. Making a career mistake at 24 is much easier to recover from than at 44, when you have a family depending on you. The risks you take now, they're easier to recover from than at any other time. You can quit that job, move to a new city, try that business idea, and if it doesn't work out, you bounce back faster. The lessons you learn now about who you are, what you value, and what you're capable of, Those become the operating system for the rest of your life. So don't waste this decade trying to have it all together for show. Don't perform success on social media while feeling empty inside. Don't chase other people's definitions of achievement. Spend it becoming the kind of person who will actually handle it when things finally come together. Build your character, develop your skills, form real relationships, figure out your values, learn to handle adversity, discover what genuinely makes you come alive, not what looks good on paper. Because one day, and this is a promise, you'll look back and realize these confusing years were never wasted. Every wrong turn taught you navigation. Every slow season taught you patience. Every moment you thought you were falling behind was actually you building something that nobody could see yet, including yourself. The person you're becoming in these messy years is infinitely more valuable than any achievement you could post about. Let me share a few quick stories that prove this. My friend Sarah spent her entire early 20s working random jobs, barista, retail, administrative assistant, while everyone around her climbed corporate ladders. She felt like a failure. But those jobs taught her about customer service, about what makes businesses succeed or fail, about what frustrated her in the workplace. At 28, she started her own business, solving one of those frustrations. She's now more successful than most of those people who seemed ahead of her. Another friend, Mike, stayed in his hometown. When everyone else moved to big cities, he felt left behind. But he was there for his aging parents. He bought a house when it was affordable. He built a community. Now at 32, while his friends are stressed about rent and burnout, he has stability, deep friendships, and a life he genuinely loves. My own story, those years I felt were wasted working jobs I didn't love, living in that tiny room, watching everyone else succeed, they taught me resourcefulness. They taught me humility. They taught me to value genuine progress over appearances. They made me hungry in a way that people who had early success never were. The point isn't that struggling is better than succeeding. The point is that what looks like falling behind might actually be the exact preparation you need for where you're going. If this video made you feel even a little bit better about where you are in life, imagine how many other people out there need to hear it too. So do me a favor. Share this video with a friend who's been feeling lost or behind. You might be the reason they keep going. Sometimes all we need is permission to stop comparing and start living. And if you want to keep reminding yourself that you're not behind in life, hit that like button so YouTube knows to show you more content like this. Subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications, because we're building a community here, a little corner of the internet where we talk about the stuff no one teaches. You in school, the real stuff about navigating your 20s, building a life that actually matters, and figuring out who you are when the world keeps telling you who you should be. Because your 20s don't come with a map, but together we can make the journey a little less lonely. Remember this: you're not late, you're not behind, you're not failing. You're just on your own path, and that path is taking you exactly where you need to go. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.